Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and Nvidia is looking to buy ARM. With the rumors flying around about Nvidia wanting to buy ARM from SoftBank, it has been very interesting and fun to kind of watch, what players in the field might do. So to start all off, it is Nvidia looking to buy ARM, which is they basically just create IP that then other companies use to then build chips. I'm going to keep it as basic as that. There's more details in there, but maybe one day I'll go through a video of teaching everything that happens. But for right now, let's keep it basic and let's jump into the fun rumor mill stuff that's going all around and what may come of it. Because you have SoftBank wanting to make a profit off of it, and what SoftBank bought it for like 30 some billion before, and WCCF Tech, I saw them have something. I can't remember if somebody else had it too, but rumored that SoftBank would like 20 billion in US. So yeah, having a profit of 20 billion on there. Now it's their investment fund, right? I think it was part of their investment fund, and they want to reap money on this investment fund. So SoftBank is one of these huge conglomerates that likes to invest a lot into companies, or likes to invest into companies, and they want their money back on it. Now, they've had some pitfalls here with WeWork and some other things, but this looks like to be one area where they might get a lot of money back. And if Nvidia is willing to pay it, Nvidia's been building a war chest here for a little bit, and that's a good option for them. Now, Nvidia has the problem where they're competing with two other companies in the space. Really only one right now, but another one coming into play with it. Intel, AMD they compete with right now in the graphics segment, but they don't really have a CPU segment to compete with them either. So is this one way that Nvidia gets their CPU segment and basically be able to make a better Tegra, a better processor than what they had with the Tegra, and to be able to compete against AMD on that full front? Or another possibility is I'm looking at, and probably this one too, because I believe that there's a bigger headbutt between Intel and Nvidia than there is between AMD and Nvidia. But Intel, is getting their CPUs, and now they're getting that GPU side out there. And Nvidia really could see this as coming on their turf because Nvidia has a stronghold on the GPU market for all intents and purposes. So let's make sure we stop Intel and let's fend them off in a way, and let's get ARM here and have that technology. And who knows, maybe we'll still license it out, but we want to make sure that we're not letting Intel have a step up on us and be able to court them off into supercomputers and other high performance computing that we weren't able to do. There's been some high performance compute ARM chips out there in the world for server farms, etc. And maybe this is where Nvidia wants to go. Maybe they'll still license ARM and have it go with Apple, Qualcomm, everything else, as long as you do low power. But if you want to do high power, you have to come to us. Who knows? Maybe that's an option for them as well. There's going to be a lot of interesting things, I think, that come out of this here. WCCF was saying that this might be done by the end of summer, which I think is pretty quick considering of all the players that are going around with all the different countries involved, and how players and how different countries are going to maybe scrutinize this depending upon which country the technology is going to basically be residing in, or the company that is there resides in. You also have Apple, right? And Apple and Nvidia have butted heads before. So is Apple going to say no? We don't want this to happen. We're going to throw down our money. Who knows? There's been reports that Apple and Qualcomm have stepped away, but both of them have a lot of cash, especially Apple. And who knows? Maybe it was like, hey, SoftBank, when Nvidia gets your number, you come back and call us, and we'll just match it, right? There's Apple has that kind of money to be able to just go, oh, we're just going to lay it on the table, and away we go. So where does this end up is really one of my biggest questions, because I'm sure Qualcomm doesn't want to always go to Nvidia. I'm sure Apple doesn't to license it. Who knows if Nvidia would still license it? They could just pull the plug on it, which would be a huge devastation to the people using the ARM technology. Now, I could also see Apple saying, hey, this is getting too rich for our blood. Let's start working on RISC-V and move on. That's an option for Apple. Apple's already moved, and they've moved their OS from different architectures before too, so this isn't a huge deal for them. Now with Qualcomm, it's a little bit bigger because that's their bread and butter with all these mobile chips, and who knows where this becomes of it. Maybe that then it's also licensed GPU technology as well, and then Nvidia has an end to all mobile technology. That would be a huge thing for Nvidia, but that would really kind of cut out any competition out there as well. So there's a lot of different scenarios I'm seeing that this could go forward with, and it could be really interesting here coming in the summer to see what is all on the table. I've also heard that Foxconn and Taiwanese semiconductor companies are also interested, and who knows what other players may come about. Microsoft could come to fruition. Google, who knows? Facebook may decide, hey, we want to be more hardware based. Let's go in after a hardware company. So there's a lot of different options here that could just appear for SoftBank for selling ARM, including it going back to where the founder wants it out of the NVIDIA's hands. He had some very interesting to say about NVIDIA. Go look it up. And obviously he doesn't want it there. So there could be things around. I think this is going to be a long, drawn-out process if NVIDIA does go with it or does try to purchase it. I think that there's going to be a lot of headbutting between different companies, different governments, on what's going to actually happen to it. And I almost think that if NVIDIA is going to buy it, it may switch out of not actually happening before the deal's all said and done. So does NVIDIA want to get its hands messy? And that is another whole question. And I think at a certain point, depending upon how committed Jensen is to it, he may just back away and say, this is it. So those are kind of my thoughts on where this NVIDIA looking at ARM thing is going. I think it's going to be a mess before it gets better or before we really see what is actually going to happen to it, especially with everything happening in the world. Geopolitical as well as companies against each other and where that may reside, technology may reside, and what the founder of ARM really thinks about NVIDIA and what he would want as well. I'm sure that's going to play a little bit of factor there in the UK and how they run their government stuff. I'm not exactly an expert on the UK side there, but if somebody is, leave a comment below on how that all works. But there's a lot to be laid out here, and it's going to be fun to watch. So with that, I do want to say thank you guys for watching, and leave your comments below on what you guys think is going to happen with this, and if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing for NVIDIA and surrounding companies. I think it could actually help out NVIDIA quite a bit on the CPU side. It's all the companies around them that I'm kind of worried for. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I have the 4K camera up and running. I have, hopefully, it synced up in sound. I've been working on that, trying to get that done. I've only recorded this video a few times, so we'll see how it all goes. And let me know if you have any comments on this as well, maybe adjustments I can do. And this is with the Nikon Z6. And until next time, I want to say God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.